Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today to talk about an important lesson that we all need to learn in life to act as if nothing bothers us. But let me clarify something right away. I'm not asking you to suppress your emotions, bury your feelings, or pretend that you are invincible. What I am asking is that you build an inner strength so powerful that no external circumstance, no matter how difficult or challenging, can shake your core. It is so easy to be swayed by the world around us. The noise, the judgment, the opinions, the demands, life has a way of testing our resilience. But the truth is, the more we allow ourselves to be affected by everything that happens around us, the less control we have over our own peace and well-being. When we act as if nothing bothers us, we aren't pretending to be unaffected by life's challenges. Rather, we are choosing to respond with strength, grace, and wisdom instead of reacting with frustration, anger, or anxiety. We are saying, I will not let this moment define my peace. We are practicing resilience and emotional courage, and that is where our true power lies. Emotions are a natural and powerful part of our human experience. Whether it's joy, sadness, anger, or fear, our emotions are often the first things we experience in any given situation. They rise quickly, and they can sometimes feel overwhelming. However, one of the most important lessons we can learn in life is that emotions are not meant to control us, but rather to inform us. To act as if nothing bothers you does not mean you suppress or ignore your emotions. It means you recognize them for what they are: signals, not commands. When we acknowledge our emotions, we are allowing ourselves the space to feel and process what is happening inside of us. It's important to give ourselves permission to experience those emotions without judgment. If we are angry, we don't immediately need to push that anger away. If we are sad, we don't need to invalidate those feelings. Emotions are part of our lived experience, and they arise for a reason. They often point to something deeper, something that needs our attention or reflection. When we resist or deny our emotions, we inadvertently give them more power over us. Suppression can lead to resentment, emotional burnout, or even physical tension. So acknowledge the emotion as it arises. Name it, understand it. I am angry. I am disappointed. I am anxious. Identifying the emotion brings awareness, and awareness is the first step toward mastering it. However, the real power lies in how we respond to our emotions. Our feelings are like waves. They come, they peak, and then they recede. Just because we feel something doesn't mean we need to be ruled by it. This is where emotional intelligence comes into play. Emotional intelligence isn't about avoiding or ignoring what we feel. It's about choosing how to act, regardless of what emotions may be bubbling up inside us. You have the ability to decide how you express your emotions, and more importantly, how you let them influence your thoughts and behavior. When we allow our emotions to control us, we give away our peace. We react impulsively, saying things we regret or making decisions driven by temporary feelings. It's as though we are caught in a storm, at the mercy of forces beyond our control. But when we acknowledge the emotion and then choose not to let it control our actions, we take back our power. We respond from a place of clarity, not from the urgency of an emotional impulse. Think about a situation where you felt angry. Perhaps someone said something hurtful, or a situation didn't go the way you expected. In the heat of the moment, it might seem like you have to act immediately on that anger. But instead of lashing out or letting your anger take the wheel, you can pause, take a deep breath, and choose to respond thoughtfully. Yes, I am angry right now, but I can still choose how to handle this. By doing this, you break the cycle of reaction and instead create a space for reason and calm to enter. This practice of acknowledging your emotions and not letting them control you also requires patience and self-compassion. It's not about being perfect in managing your emotions, but it is about progress. You don't have to immediately fix your emotions or banish them. Allow yourself to feel without self-judgment, but also remember that you don't have to let those emotions dictate your reality. You are the one in charge of how you respond, and that is the true power of emotional mastery. In moments of distress, when emotions like anger or fear arise, it's important to recognize that they are valid, but not necessarily permanent. Just as clouds move across the sky, emotions will also pass. You don't have to hold onto them forever. It's like holding a hot stone in your hand. It's hot, it's uncomfortable, and you might feel like you have to keep holding it. But if you let go of it, the discomfort will cease. Similarly, by acknowledging the emotion and not allowing it to control your actions, you're letting go of the hot stone that doesn't serve you in the long term. This practice of emotional awareness creates space for you to make intentional, conscious decisions rather than acting on impulse. It allows you to be grounded in your values, not at the mercy of fleeting emotions. When you act as if nothing bothers you, it's not about denying what's inside. It's about creating a space where your inner world doesn't get hijacked by temporary emotions. You are not your anger, or your sadness, or your anxiety. You are the one who experiences them. And that makes all the difference. In the long run, learning to acknowledge your emotions without letting them control you will lead to deeper self-respect and a more stable emotional life. You will find that you are less reactive, more composed, and better able to navigate life's ups and downs. You become a person who stands firm, unshaken by external forces, because you know how to manage what's happening within you. And this emotional mastery becomes the foundation of resilience, the ability to bounce back from any challenge with grace and strength. Emotional resilience is one of the most powerful qualities you can develop as you navigate life's inevitable challenges. Life is full of ups and downs, and while we cannot always control the circumstances we face, we can control how we respond to them. Emotional resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, adapt to adversity, and bounce back stronger after setbacks. It's the ability to withstand life's storms without losing your center or allowing the weight of the world to crush your spirit. And just like any other skill, it's something that can be nurtured and built over time. At its core, emotional resilience is not about being unshakable or impervious to hardship. It's about developing the ability to recover, adapt, and move forward no matter what happens. It's about having the inner strength to face difficult situations and say, "This will not break me." Cultivating emotional resilience means learning how to embrace life's inevitable challenges without allowing them to defeat your spirit or rob you of your peace. So how can we cultivate emotional resilience? It starts by changing the way we approach difficulties. We must shift our mindset from seeing setbacks as insurmountable obstacles to viewing them as opportunities for growth. When you face a challenge, instead of asking yourself, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this every challenge?" No matter how painful, carries within it a lesson, something that can help you grow, evolve, and become a stronger version of yourself. Emotional resilience is built upon this foundational belief that adversity doesn't define you. It refines you. The pain you experience doesn't have to consume you. In fact, it can serve as the fuel that propels you forward, giving you the strength to rise above and become a more powerful version of yourself. However, this shift in perspective is not something that happens overnight. It's something that requires intentional effort and practice. A major part of cultivating emotional resilience is learning how to reframe negative thoughts. In challenging times, it's easy to fall into negative thinking patterns. You might think, "I can't handle this," or "This is too much for me." But if you allow these thoughts to dominate your mindset, you will inevitably feel overwhelmed, helpless, and defeated. Reframing involves consciously choosing to replace negative thoughts with more empowering ones. Instead of thinking, "This is too hard for me to try, this is difficult, but I am capable of handling it," instead of thinking, "I'll never get through this," say, "This is a challenge, and I am stronger than I realize." The more you practice reframing your thoughts, the easier it becomes to navigate life's storms with a sense of calm and control. Another critical component of emotional resilience is self-compassion. Many of us are our own harshest critics. When things go wrong, we often beat ourselves up, thinking that we should have done better, known better, or handled things differently. But emotional resilience is built on the understanding that you are human. You are going to make mistakes. You are going to stumble and fall. And that is okay. Self-compassion allows you to acknowledge your imperfections without judgment, to treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend in a difficult time. When you embrace self-compassion, you stop being so hard on yourself and give yourself the grace to grow and learn from your experiences. This is a crucial step toward building resilience because it allows you to recover from setbacks faster with more kindness toward yourself. An important part of resilience is also your ability to manage stress. Stress is a natural reaction to life's challenges, but how we manage it can make all the difference in our ability to stay resilient. When stress becomes overwhelming, it can cloud your judgment, diminish your energy, and reduce your capacity to cope. However, when you develop healthy ways of managing stress, whether through exercise, meditation, mindfulness, deep breathing, or simply taking time for self-care, you create a buffer between the external pressure and your inner peace. This buffer allows you to face difficulties with a clearer mind and a stronger sense of purpose, which is essential for cultivating resilience. Resilience is also supported by a strong support network. Emotional resilience doesn't mean you have to go through life's challenges alone. In fact, having supportive relationships is a crucial factor in building resilience. A trusted friend, family member, or mentor can offer encouragement, perspective, and emotional support during tough times. Knowing that there are people who believe in you, who can offer a shoulder to lean on, or who can listen without judgment, makes a tremendous difference when you're facing adversity. Resilience is not about facing challenges in isolation, but about allowing yourself to lean on others when you need to. The strength you gain from these relationships helps to buffer against the emotional toll of hardship. One of the most powerful tools in cultivating emotional resilience is mindfulness. Being present in the moment and cultivating awareness of your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations can help you respond to challenges with clarity and calmness. Mindfulness teaches you not to be controlled by your emotions, but to observe them as they arise and then let them go. This allows you to step back from the immediate reaction to a situation and instead approach it from a place of balance and awareness. Through mindfulness, you train your mind to stay focused and calm in the face of difficulty, rather than getting swept away by the storm of emotions. Emotional resilience requires a sense of purpose and meaning. When you have a clear sense of why you are doing what you are doing, when you know that your struggles are connected to something greater than yourself, you can endure almost anything. Whether it's your family, your career, a personal goal, or a deeper sense of purpose, having something meaningful to hold on to gives you the strength to persevere through hard times. It's like having a lighthouse in the storm, a steady point of light that keeps you moving forward, even when everything around you is chaotic. In our modern world, where the demands of work, family, friends, and society seem endless, one of the most essential yet often overlooked practices is the establishment of strong boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define where you end and where others begin. They protect your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. When we fail to establish healthy boundaries, we risk overextending ourselves, feeling depleted, and losing a sense of who we are. But when we create and enforce strong boundaries, we are taking control of our lives, ensuring that we have the space and energy we need to thrive while maintaining our peace and sense of self. Boundaries are not about building walls that keep others out. They are about creating a safe and respectful space for both ourselves and others. When you develop strong boundaries, you are not only protecting yourself, but also teaching others how to treat you. Setting boundaries is a form of self-care, and self-care is essential for your overall emotional well-being. It's a way to honor your needs, respect your limits, and preserve your energy. Without boundaries, we often end up drained, resentful, or overwhelmed. But with healthy boundaries in place, we can navigate our relationships and responsibilities with a sense of calm, clarity, and strength. Understanding what boundaries are. First, it's important to understand what boundaries are and what they are not. Boundaries are limits you set to protect your personal space, time, energy, and well-being. They are not about being rigid, inflexible, or controlling others. Instead, boundaries are about making sure that your needs are met without compromising your values or sacrificing your emotional health. They serve as guidelines that communicate what is acceptable and what is not in your interactions with others. Boundaries can be physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. Physical boundaries refer to your personal space and how you allow others to interact with your body. Emotional boundaries protect your feelings and emotional well-being, ensuring that you are not manipulated, criticized, or blamed unfairly. Mental boundaries are about protecting your thoughts, ideas, and beliefs from being overwhelmed or invalidated by others. Spiritual boundaries relate to your faith and beliefs, ensuring that you are not coerced into compromising your values or beliefs. Why boundaries are so important. Creating strong boundaries is vital because they help us maintain a sense of self-respect and personal integrity. Without boundaries, we often find ourselves saying yes to things we don't want to do, agreeing to requests that drain our energy, or tolerating behavior that diminishes our worth. Over time, this can lead to feelings of resentment, burnout, and even identity loss. Strong boundaries are not selfish, they are necessary for you to remain balanced, healthy, and able to show up fully for yourself and others. When you set clear boundaries, you communicate to others that you value yourself, your time, and your energy. You show that you are not available to be taken advantage of or to carry the weight of other people's demands. And just as important, you teach others how to treat you with respect. Boundaries create an environment of mutual understanding and respect in your relationships, whether they are personal or professional. How to develop strong boundaries. Know your needs and priorities. The first step in developing strong boundaries is to be clear about what your needs are. What do you need to feel emotionally and physically safe, nurtured, and supported? What are your priorities in life and how can you protect them? Without a clear understanding of your needs, it is difficult to create boundaries that align with your values and protect your well-being. Take the time to reflect on what is most important to you, both in terms of your personal life and your work or professional life. What are the things that energize and uplift you, and what drains you or makes you feel overwhelmed? Once you identify your needs and priorities, you can begin to set boundaries that honor and protect them. Learn to say no without guilt. One of the biggest obstacles to establishing boundaries is the fear of saying no. We may feel guilty for turning someone down, afraid that they will be upset, or worried about disappointing them. But learning to say no is a crucial skill when it comes to creating boundaries. Saying no is not about being unkind or rejecting people. It's about taking responsibility for your time, energy, and well-being. By saying no to something that doesn't align with your needs or values, you are saying yes to yourself. And the more you practice saying no, the easier it becomes and the more empowered you will feel. And set clear, direct expectations. Boundaries are most effective when they are clear and direct. Ambiguity leaves room for confusion and manipulation. When you communicate your boundaries, be specific about what is and isn't acceptable. For example, if a coworker frequently asks you to stay late at work and it's disrupting your personal time, you might say, I am happy to help out when necessary, but I need to leave by 5:30 p.m. to take care of personal commitments. By being clear about your limits, you are setting expectations that are fair to both you and others. Communicate with confidence. Setting boundaries requires communication, and how you communicate is just as important as what you say. Strong boundaries are communicated confidently and respectfully. There's no need to apologize or feel embarrassed about setting limits. You have every right to protect your time and energy. And when you communicate this with confidence, others are more likely to respect your boundaries. For example, if someone is constantly calling you late at night and interrupting your rest, you could say, "I am unavailable after 9 p.m. Please feel free to call me earlier during the day if you need something." Your tone and body language should reflect the strength of your boundaries. Be prepared for pushback. Not everyone will respect your boundaries immediately, and that's okay. People who are used to you saying yes to everything may not understand why you're setting limits. They may push back or test your boundaries. It's important to stand firm and be consistent. The more you reinforce your boundaries, the more others will come to understand and respect them. This may be uncomfortable at first, but it is a necessary step in teaching others how to treat you. Respect others' boundaries. Boundaries are a two-way street. Just as you expect others to respect your boundaries, it's equally important to respect theirs. Understanding that everyone has their own limits and personal needs is essential in maintaining healthy relationships. By respecting others' boundaries, you create a culture of mutual respect and understanding. This, in turn, makes it easier for people to respect your boundaries as well. Practice self-care. The act of setting boundaries is a form of self-care. It's a way to protect your energy and mental health, ensuring that you have the time and space to nurture yourself. Without boundaries, self-care becomes impossible because you are constantly pulled in different directions. Take the time to rest, relax, and engage in activities that nourish your soul. When you prioritize self-care, you create a foundation for stronger, healthier boundaries. Know when to reevaluate and adjust. Boundaries are not static. As life changes, so too may your boundaries. What worked for you a year ago might not be what serves you today. It's important to regularly reevaluate your boundaries and adjust them as necessary. Life is dynamic, and so are your needs. By checking in with yourself regularly and adjusting your boundaries accordingly, you ensure that they continue to serve and protect you. In a world that constantly bombards us with external pressures, distractions, and uncontrollable events, one of the most empowering choices you can make is to focus on what you can control. This focus gives you the strength to maintain your inner peace and balance, no matter how chaotic or uncertain the world around you may be. We live in a time when it is easy to feel overwhelmed by the sheer number of things that are beyond our control: global events, other people's behavior, and even the natural world. Yet when we devote our energy to controlling what is within our reach, we gain a profound sense of clarity and purpose. Focusing on what you can control is not about ignoring the realities around you, but rather about acknowledging that certain aspects of life are outside of your influence. Rather than expending emotional energy on things that cannot be changed, the key is to direct that energy toward areas where your actions truly matter. This is where your personal power lies. Understanding what you can control. Before you can harness the power of focus, it's important to clarify what you can and cannot control. Life often presents us with situations that are beyond our control, such as the actions and attitudes of other people, the course of natural events, or even broader societal or economic shifts. While we cannot change these external forces, we always have control over how we respond to them. At the heart of focusing on what you can control is the understanding that you are the architect of your own thoughts, reactions, and choices. This realization shifts your mindset from that of a victim to that of an empowered individual. You might not be able to control the weather, the economy, or the decisions others make, but you can control how you adapt to those circumstances. Your attitude, your actions, your decisions, these are all within your grasp. By focusing on the things you can control, you place the power in your hands. You stop letting outside forces dictate your emotional state. And instead, you create a mindset where you are actively shaping your own experience of life. By focusing on what you can control is empowering. It reduces stress and anxiety. When you focus on the things that are beyond your control, you inevitably experience stress and anxiety. Worrying about things you cannot influence is a major cause of mental and emotional strain. By redirecting your energy toward what you can control, you free yourself from the burden of unnecessary stress. This shift in focus brings about a sense of calm and clarity as you no longer feel overwhelmed by external pressures. Gives you a sense of agency. Focusing on what you can control restores your sense of agency. When we feel powerless, we often retreat into frustration or helplessness. But when we focus on the choices we can make, the habits we can develop, and the actions we can take, we regain control over our lives. This sense of agency fuels motivation and fosters a proactive mindset, enabling you to make meaningful changes in your life. Enhances emotional regulation. Emotions are often triggered by external events. When we react impulsively to things that are beyond our control, we can feel overwhelmed or helpless. But by recognizing that you can only control how you react, not what happens, you gain the ability to manage your emotions more effectively. Focusing on your responses allows you to develop emotional resilience, which helps you stay calm and composed, no matter what challenges you face. Promotes personal growth. Focusing on what you can control is a key to personal growth. It encourages you to take responsibility for your own actions, choices, and development. Instead of blaming external circumstances for your situation, you take ownership of your progress. By cultivating habits of self-discipline, patience, and resilience, you can continuously improve yourself in your life, no matter the external conditions. Strengthens your sense of purpose. Life can feel aimless or uncertain when we are consumed by things outside of our control. But when you focus on what you can control, your goals, your daily habits, and your mindset, you create a sense of purpose and direction. You are no longer drifting along in response to external forces. Instead, you are actively creating your path forward. This purpose gives you clarity and motivation to pursue your goals with intention and drive. How to focus on what you can control. Focus on your thoughts. The first step in focusing on what you can control is to recognize that your thoughts are within your power. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have for shaping your experience of the world. You cannot always control the initial thought that enters your mind, but you do have control over how you respond to it. When negative or unproductive thoughts arise, you can choose to redirect them, challenge them, or replace them with more constructive ones. By cultivating a mindset that chooses positivity, optimism, and resilience, you empower yourself to take control of your thoughts and, by extension, your emotional state. A powerful way to exercise this control is through mindfulness and meditation practices. These techniques allow you to observe your thoughts without judgment, creating space between stimulus and response. Over time, this awareness strengthens your ability to choose your thoughts intentionally. Take responsibility for your actions. You have full control over your actions, and this is where the real power lies. You may not be able to control the actions of others, but you can always control how you respond. By taking responsibility for your choices and behaviors, you take ownership of your life. Each decision you make, whether it's how you interact with others, how you take care of your health, or how you approach your work, shapes your reality. You have the ability to choose how to show up each day and what actions to take toward your goals. When you stop blaming others or external circumstances for your situation, you begin to see yourself as the creator of your life. Even in the face of adversity, your actions are the one thing you can control. And by making empowered choices, you create momentum for change. Set goals and create action plans. Another important aspect of focusing on what you can control is goal setting. Setting clear, actionable goals gives you a sense of purpose and a roadmap for success. While you cannot control the outcome of every situation, you can control the steps you take toward achieving your goals. Break your goals down into smaller, manageable tasks and take consistent, deliberate action every day. Even in the face of uncertainty or setbacks, maintaining focus on your goals helps you stay grounded and motivated. A key part of this process is being flexible. While you can control your actions, you cannot always control how things unfold. Adaptability is essential in ensuring that you remain focused on the journey, not just the destination. When obstacles arise, instead of giving up, focus on adjusting your strategy and continuing forward. Cultivate healthy habits. Your daily habits play a massive role in determining your well-being and success. By focusing on what you can control in your daily routine, you set yourself up for long-term growth and fulfillment. Whether it's exercising, eating nourishing food, getting enough sleep, or taking time for personal reflection, these small daily practices add up over time. By creating habits that serve your physical, mental, and emotional health, you are taking control of your well-being and strengthening your ability to manage whatever life throws your way. Practice acceptance. Finally, an essential part of focusing on what you can control is practicing acceptance. There are always going to be circumstances and challenges outside of your influence. Instead of resisting or fighting against what you cannot change, acceptance allows you to release the need for control. It's about acknowledging what is beyond your reach and making peace with it. This acceptance frees up your mental and emotional energy, allowing you to focus on the things you can control and take empowered action. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools at your disposal for maintaining emotional strength and resilience in the face of life's challenges. It is a practice that not only shifts your perspective, but also profoundly changes the way you interact with the world. Gratitude doesn't just make you feel good in the moment, it has long-term benefits for your mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. When you cultivate gratitude, you create an inner space where the things that used to bother you, frustrations, setbacks, disappointments, no longer have the same power over your peace of mind. In a world where stress, uncertainty, and hardship are inevitable, gratitude provides a grounding force that helps you stay focused, positive, and hopeful. It allows you to rise above the noise of life's challenges and center yourself in the blessings and lessons that surround you every day. The power of gratitude. Gratitude is more than just a feel-good practice. It is a transformative force that can shift your entire outlook on life. It is about noticing and appreciating the small, everyday things, the moments of beauty, the acts of kindness, and the joys that may otherwise be overlooked in the hustle and bustle of daily life. When you actively practice gratitude, you train your mind to focus on what is working in your life, rather than what is wrong. This shift in focus leads to greater emotional stability and resilience. Research has shown that practicing gratitude regularly can have profound effects on mental health. People who express gratitude are less likely to experience depression, anxiety, and negative emotions. Gratitude has been linked to increased levels of happiness, improved relationships, better sleep, and even physical health benefits, such as a stronger immune system and lower blood pressure. It is a holistic practice that nourishes not only your spirit, but your body as well. How gratitude shifts your mindset. It reframes negative thoughts. Our minds are naturally inclined to focus on what is wrong, what needs fixing, or what we're lacking. This focus on the negative can leave us feeling depleted and overwhelmed. However, by consciously practicing gratitude, you train your brain to shift its focus from what's missing to what's present, what's abundant, and what's already good. This reframing process helps you to move away from a scarcity mindset, a mindset that tells you there's never enough, and embrace an abundance mindset, one that acknowledges all the blessings you already have. When you focus on the positive aspects of your life, you stop dwelling on the frustrations or disappointments that once felt so consuming. You become more aware of the good things, big and small, and begin to see your challenges in a different light. Instead of feeling burdened by obstacles, you start to view them as opportunities for growth and learning. It fosters a positive outlook on life. Gratitude also fosters a sense of optimism. When you practice gratitude, you are training yourself to look for the good, even in difficult circumstances. You start to recognize the lessons in every experience, and you develop an attitude of hope and possibility. Acknowledging the good in your life, no matter how small, allows you to build a foundation of trust in yourself and in the world around you. This positive outlook helps you stay grounded even when life feels turbulent. It builds emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, disappointments, and adversity. Gratitude is one of the most effective tools for building resilience because it encourages you to focus on the things that support and sustain you in hard times. When you practice gratitude, you're less likely to feel overwhelmed by negative emotions or external stressors. Instead, you develop an inner strength that allows you to stay steady and composed in the face of challenges. By focusing on what you're grateful for, you activate the parts of your brain that promote feelings of joy, contentment, and peace. This positive emotional state acts as a buffer against stress, making it easier for you to handle adversity without being consumed by it. How to practice gratitude. Start with a daily gratitude practice. One of the simplest and most effective ways to practice gratitude is to make it part of your daily routine. Start by setting aside time each day, perhaps in the morning before you get out of bed or before going to sleep, to reflect on the things you are grateful for. It can be as simple as writing down 3 things you appreciate that day. These don't have to be monumental. It could be something as simple as a kind gesture from a friend, the beauty of nature, or even the warmth of your home. The more specific you can be, the more powerful the practice will be. Over time, this practice trains your brain to automatically scan for things to appreciate, shifting your mindset and elevating your mood. The consistency of this practice is what creates lasting change. So even on difficult days, take a moment to acknowledge the good things that still exist in your life. Express gratitude to others. Gratitude isn't just about feeling thankful, it's about expressing it. Acknowledging and appreciating the people in your life who make a difference is an important part of the gratitude practice. Take the time to thank those who support you, love you, or show you kindness. Send a note, write a message, or simply tell someone how much you value them. Not only does this practice uplift those around you, but it also strengthens your own emotional bonds with others. By expressing your gratitude, you are reinforcing the sense of connection and support that sustains you. Sometimes the simple act of expressing gratitude can shift someone else's entire day. It reminds them that their efforts matter, and it reminds you of the love and kindness that exists in your life. Gratitude, when shared, multiplies. Gratitude jar or journal. Another great way to practice gratitude is through a gratitude jar or journal. With a gratitude jar, you write down moments of gratitude on small pieces of paper and place them in the jar. Over time, as you revisit the jar, you'll be reminded of all the blessings in your life. This physical representation of gratitude serves as a visual reminder of the abundance that exists, especially during tough times. A gratitude journal functions similarly, allowing you to reflect on and document the things you are thankful for, which reinforces the positive aspects of your life. Gratitude meditation is an excellent way to deepen your gratitude practice. Set aside a few minutes each day to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and reflect on what you are grateful for. As you meditate, visualize the people, experiences, or blessings that bring you joy. Allow yourself to feel the warmth and appreciation in your heart. This practice connects you deeply with your emotions and strengthens your ability to carry gratitude with you throughout your day. Meditation also helps to calm your mind, center your thoughts, and create space for positive emotions to flow more freely. It's a powerful way to clear away mental clutter and embrace the peace and joy that come from being grateful. Shift from complaining to appreciating. It's easy to fall into the habit of complaining about what's not working in your life. But shifting your language from one of complaint to one of appreciation is one of the most effective ways to cultivate gratitude. When you find yourself focusing on the negative or the things that bother you, pause and reframe your thoughts. Ask yourself, what can I be grateful for right now? In this situation, instead of complaining about the challenges you face, focus on the growth and lessons they provide. Even in difficult circumstances, there is always something to appreciate. And choosing to focus on that will shift your emotional state. And the ripple effect of gratitude. As you begin to practice gratitude, you'll notice a ripple effect in your life. Gratitude is contagious. It not only transforms your mindset, but also positively impacts those around you. When you express gratitude to others, you inspire them to do the same. This creates a cycle of positivity, kindness, and connection that extends far beyond you. Gratitude fosters empathy and strengthens relationships, building communities of support and resilience. Moreover, as you continue to practice gratitude, you'll begin to notice an increase in the overall sense of joy, peace, and fulfillment in your life. The more you appreciate what you have, the less you will feel the need for more. You will find contentment in the present moment, and as you do, you will naturally become less affected by external circumstances. In this way, gratitude allows you to act as if nothing bothers you because it shifts your focus away from negativity and toward the abundance that is already present. In a world that constantly emphasizes perfection, it can be incredibly difficult to accept that flaws, mistakes, and imperfections are a natural and beautiful part of being human. We live in a society where success, beauty, intelligence, and strength are often measured against an idealized standard. The pressure to meet these standards can be overwhelming, and the fear of being judged or found lacking can create a barrier to living authentically. But what if we reframed the concept of perfection and embraced our imperfections instead? Embracing your imperfections is not about resigning yourself to mediocrity or giving up on growth. It's about accepting that you are worthy and valuable, not in spite of your imperfections, but because of them. Perfectionism can be a barrier to real connection and personal growth. When we let go of the need to appear flawless or have everything figured out, we open ourselves up to deeper self-acceptance, more authentic relationships, and a more fulfilling life. The trap of perfectionism. Perfectionism is often seen as a virtue. It's often praised as a sign of hard work, dedication, and an elevated standard of performance. However, what perfectionism really does is create an unrealistic expectation that no one, including yourself, can ever fully meet. The pressure to be perfect can leave you feeling constantly inadequate, unworthy, and exhausted. Perfectionism sets an impossible bar and creates a sense of shame when you inevitably fall short. It steals your joy and robs you of the freedom to be your true self. When perfectionism takes hold, you become fixated on how you look, how you perform, and how others perceive you. This relentless pursuit of flawlessness prevents you from accepting your true self, someone who is constantly evolving, learning, and growing through both successes and failures. It creates a false narrative that you must always be at your best and never show vulnerability, which leads to anxiety and fear. The truth is, your worth is not defined by your performance or your ability to be perfect. Let go of self-judgment. To embrace your imperfections, the first step is to let go of harsh self-judgment. The way you talk to yourself, the internal dialogue shapes your reality. If you constantly berate yourself for your mistakes or shortcomings, you will reinforce the belief that you are not enough. Self-judgment is a form of self-punishment that keeps you trapped in a cycle of shame and self-doubt. It builds walls between you and your authentic self, preventing you from fully experiencing the richness of life. When you let go of self-judgment, you begin to approach yourself with kindness, compassion, and understanding. You acknowledge your mistakes, but you do not allow them to define you. Mistakes are opportunities for learning and growth, not signs of inadequacy. When you embrace the idea that you are not perfect and that it's okay to be flawed, you give yourself permission to be human. You allow yourself to show up in the world without the need to present a polished, idealized version of yourself. Accepting imperfection as part of the human experience. Imperfection is a universal experience. No one is exempt from making mistakes, having setbacks, or facing challenges. Every person you admire or look up to has encountered obstacles and imperfections. They too have made missteps, failed, and learned from those experiences. When you embrace your imperfections, you are embracing your humanity, and you are no longer isolating yourself from others or from your own true self. When you stop striving for an unattainable ideal, you allow yourself to grow and develop at your own pace. You no longer need to prove anything to anyone, including yourself. Your journey becomes more about self-discovery than about seeking external validation. You become free to explore the parts of yourself that may not fit the conventional idea of success or beauty. Embracing imperfection means accepting that growth is not linear and that mistakes are not only inevitable but essential to progress. Cultivate self-compassion. Self-compassion is the foundation for embracing imperfection. It involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a close friend. When you experience difficulty or make a mistake, self-compassion allows you to offer yourself comfort and encouragement rather than criticism and judgment. It means accepting that you, like everyone else, are a work in progress, constantly evolving, stumbling, and learning along the way. The practice of self-compassion involves being gentle with yourself. Especially in moments of struggle, it's easy to be hard on yourself when things go wrong, but self-compassion invites you to pause, breathe, and remember that you are doing your best. It's about acknowledging your imperfections without letting them define you. Self-compassion allows you to respond to your shortcomings with grace and patience rather than shame, and strength and vulnerability. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, but in reality, it is one of the greatest sources of strength. Vulnerability is the willingness to show up as your authentic self, flaws and all, and to be seen by others without the fear of judgment. It is the courage to be open and honest about your imperfections, your struggles, and your humanity. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you create space for deeper connections with others. You show the world that you are not afraid to be imperfect, and in doing so, you invite others to do the same. Vulnerability fosters trust, intimacy, and empathy. When you share your imperfections with others, you give them permission to share theirs. This creates a sense of unity and mutual understanding, breaking down the barriers that perfectionism often erects. Embracing vulnerability means recognizing that it is okay to be imperfect and that there is strength in showing up authentically, even in the face of uncertainty. Let go of comparison. In the age of social media, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others. We see curated, filtered versions of other people's lives and believe that we are somehow less because we don't measure up to those ideals. But comparison is a thief of joy and self-acceptance. It robs you of your sense of worth and creates unnecessary pressure to be someone you're not. The truth is, no one has it all figured out. Everyone is on their own unique journey, and comparison only distracts you from your own path. Embracing your imperfections means accepting that you are exactly where you are meant to be, and that your journey is uniquely yours. Instead of comparing yourself to others, focus on your own growth and progress. Celebrate your wins, however small, and honor the lessons learned from your setbacks. Your imperfections are what make your story meaningful and rich. They are part of the fabric of who you are. Shifting your perspective on failure. Embracing imperfections also means embracing failure. Our society tends to view failure as something to avoid at all costs. Yet it is an inevitable part of life. When you approach failure with the belief that it is a stepping stone toward success rather than a reflection of your worth, you give yourself permission to try new things without fear. Failure is not an end, it is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow. By reframing failure as a necessary part of the journey, you let go of the fear of making mistakes. You no longer feel the need to present a flawless image to the world. Instead, you can be open to experimenting, taking risks, and embracing the possibility of falling short, because even in failure, there is growth. Your imperfections are not things to be ashamed of, but opportunities for transformation. Embracing your imperfections is a liberating act. It means letting go of the need for external validation, accepting that you are enough as you are, and acknowledging that your worth is not defined by your mistakes or shortcomings. When you embrace imperfection, you free yourself from the suffocating grip of perfectionism and allow yourself to live authentically, fully, and with greater joy. Your imperfections make you unique. They are the aspects of you that create depth, resilience, and connection with others. Perfection is a myth, but embracing your true, imperfect self is the key to living a fulfilling, meaningful life. When you stop striving to be perfect, you allow yourself to be beautifully, wonderfully human. As we journey through life, we often find ourselves caught in the pursuit of perfection, influenced by external standards and internal pressures. Yet true strength lies not in perfection, but in embracing our authentic selves, flaws, imperfections, and all. To act as if nothing bothers you is not about suppressing your emotions or pretending to be invulnerable. It's about acknowledging your feelings, cultivating resilience, and learning to stand tall in the face of challenges. It's about accepting that you are enough, just as you are, with all your imperfections and human flaws. When you learn to embrace your imperfections, you break free from the suffocating need to prove yourself to others. You create space for growth, healing, and genuine connection. You become more compassionate with yourself and with others, recognizing that we are all on this journey together, imperfectly perfect in our shared humanity. The pursuit of perfection will always be a moving target, but the path of authenticity, self-acceptance, and vulnerability offers freedom, a freedom to be real, to be raw, and to be at peace with who you are. Remember, the strength lies not in pretending to be unaffected, but in choosing to live authentically and gracefully, no matter what comes your way. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you invite resilience into your life. You set clear boundaries, and you honor your true self with kindness and courage. This is where true power resides, in the acceptance of your humanity and the choice to continue moving forward with grace, no matter the imperfections you carry along the way.